Hello, and this is going to be a little update here, but it's not going to be, I'm not even going to call it a Piney News update because I'm going to be making cuts of my own. Guys, I have to say I can't keep doing this anymore. I can't keep bringing you updates on this bus situation and all the other stuff with what's going on with me personally. I can't spend time on this anymore. I have more important things that I have to deal with. And I mean, years and years and years I've been doing this. And this county just doesn't give a crap about bus riders. I mean, they don't give a crap about us. There's no sense in me putting any more effort into this anymore. I've spent years and years of my life, and I've gotten nowhere. And, they don't seem to really care about these cuts. Certainly can't be at these bus transit committee meetings. I'm not going to waste my time with them anymore. I'm not going to waste my time with the legislature anymore. I'm not going to waste my time with any of this anymore. I'm sorry. But I have more pressing things that I have to deal with. I have to look for a new safe place to live. And I have to put my energy into that. I can start. I'm going to start looking for. It's going to be a challenge because, as you know, the way the rental market is on Long Island, and the discrimination against people like me. However, Westbury, and I really don't really want to talk about this too much, but I guess I kind of have to because this is the reason why I'm going to be not really be doing this anymore. But this town has gotten really, really bad in the past year. Just in the past couple of months, we've had the armed home invasion, where they held a knife to the little girl's throat right by the village hall. We've had two muggings. A woman was mugged in the parking lot by the train station. That was in the early evening, and then a late night mugging in the middle of the night, right in the middle of town by Post and Maple. And we had the armed robbery on my street. And this happened actually in a establishment, in a business. They went into the business, which is literally right by me, and literally I could see it out my window. And they went in there and they held a gun to the person's head, and they took $2,000. None of that was on the news, of course, and that story was kept from the news. But it was a very violent robbery where they stole money, and it happened only at around 7 o'clock at night. And that happened back in January. And then there was another incident, shooting a couple of blocks away from me as well. That didn't make the news. And then also a woman was distracted while she was walking down Post Avenue and distracted because some car pulled up and asked for directions, and then they wound up stealing her pocketbook. So this is all just in this year alone. One of my posters said, he made a comment, "Oh, Trump isn't making this country any better." Well, I disagree with that, but I guess maybe I was a little wrong in thinking that, there haven't been many illegals out because of what's been going on in Westbury. There haven't been many out. They haven't been loitering around. There haven't been as many. They're afraid because now Trump is starting to, get rid of them, starting to deport them. He's going after the worst ones, which is, what should be expected. But even a poster a while back said, even when the illegals are gone, Westbury isn't going to get better. And I think he's right, because there's so much damage been done to the town where I live. You could go ahead and look up redlining, blockbusting, all that stuff. And they have destroyed the community by illegals are part of it, but they're just part of it. You have the sex offenders, you have the ex-cons, you have the crazy people. I'm not crazy. I may have mental illness, but I'm not crazy. I'm not somebody who goes on the street singing in the wee hours of the morning like these other people do. All right, they put all these people here, and regular people, they don't want to come here. They don't want to come. Businesses are struggling, and it's once the sun goes down, it's dead. It's deader than it's ever been. We had beautiful weather this week. We had beautiful spring-like weather, and I just want to show you sort of what it's like to walk down the street at night now, because it's deader than ever.
Yeah, so this is what it looks like. You can see this is on a nice warm, nice mild evening. It's been like this every night, even Saturday night, Friday night. It's like this all the time. There's nobody around. It's dark. That building over there, the horizon, There's hardly any lights on in there. It may be half vacant. Can't say for sure, but it sure looks like it anyway. And there's just nobody around. You look and there's nobody around. And it's like this every night. Once the sun goes down, it's like everybody's just afraid to come out. This is a serious problem. And this is now 2 years old, this building. And the bottom part is still empty. The little banner blew off there. It got stuck in a tree. According to the mayor, he says all the apartments upstairs are rented, but I didn't see a lot of lights on in there, to be honest with you. And that's been sitting empty, that commercial space, for 2 years. That should tell you something. That should tell you the town is in trouble, that there's serious problems going on. And look, there's nobody. There's nobody. It's not late at night. It's only around 8 o'clock. Look at it. There's nobody around. There's not a person, not a car, nobody. Maybe a car or two, but there's not much traffic. As you can see, it's just completely deserted. Everybody is afraid. It's a serious problem. And you have a town like this. It's like this every night. Every night it's like this. Every night. Once the sun goes down, that's it. During the day, there's some people around, but at night, it's dead. Just take a listen.
Completely dead. It's surreal. It really is. Look, though, there's a homeless guy going through garbage.
That, by the way, was a homeless guy going through the trash. And I'm walking in the street here to avoid some creepy guy that was wearing baggy pants. He might have been a gang member. He was walking on the sidewalk, so I was just avoiding that. There's another one I had to avoid. Possible illegal, you know. The only place it seems there are some of the places have people inside, like this place here. There's people inside, but they're only inside. They go right to their cars and they go right in. There's also a lot of people in that place, but they just go right. They don't go out on the street at all. They park their car and then they run into the place. They don't want to be out here. Honestly, when it's like this, who can blame them? And the thing is, it feeds on itself. The emptier it gets, the more people are afraid to come out. The emptier it is, it's like a negative feedback cycle or positive feedback cycle, for what we call it. I think it's positive. Well, it's negative. It just feeds on itself. Yes, that's probably another illegal on a bike. I saw another one of those. So there's still some illegals around too, just riding around. The only people you might see on the street are probably the only people you're going to see on the street here are illegals, hoodlums, and they're all going to be wearing the baggy pants, swagger walking, acting like hoodlums and ghetto people. You're not going to see any normal people. It's just deserted. And the space is doing very poorly. Even when they have a show, I don't see much of a crowd there. There was no show that night, the night I filmed this, but this place has been vacant now for a while. It's dark. They took the sign down. But this is what it's like to live here and deal with this. And this is why I take the bus, the 35 bus. And I still don't know if they're going to cut any runs at night. But if they do, then I'm going to have to deal with this walk. And, I have my pepper spray, I have my personal alarm, and I have to pay attention because this is not a safe walk.
So it's deader than ever. This is what this town has become. And I have to get out. And I have to focus on getting out and living someplace safe, preferably on Long Island, because I don't want to leave Long Island. It's my home. It has its faults, but you know something? That people said move to New Jersey. New Jersey is hotter. In a lot of ways, I don't like the way New Jersey is laid out. I mean, it's all spread out. It's harder to get around there without a car than even Long Island is, all right? So it would make things worse for me because I don't drive. I don't think I'll ever be able to drive, let alone afford to drive. And I don't think I can do it. So I prefer to stay on Long Island. And, I'm looking in towns that are safe with good access to transportation. Towns like Mineola, towns like Farmingdale, towns like, I think those are the two most likely towns But there's also the Babylon branch towns, as you know. But the problem with places like Massapequa Park, Seaford, Wantaw, Belmore, Merrick, Rockville Center, all those places, is that they're very snobby and they're very homogenous, and they really will not allow. They're the first to show up at these protests against Trump, and they're the first to show up about, let's welcome the immigrants, let's welcome refugees are welcome here. But when it comes to actually allowing people like that into their community, no, they don't want it. They're a bunch of hypocrites. They just want to dump all that in Westbury, you see. I don't want to get too political on that, but these protests are happening all across the country. They're a distraction from the real issues. Most of them are probably bankrolled by Hillary, by the Clintons and the Soros. And these rich people come, and you look at the protests, they're all rich white people, protesting about immigrants. I mean, something is wrong when you have that. They're obviously paid off, or they're exploiting the illegals, and they're making money by hiring them instead of, hiring legal immigrants or U.S. citizens. So, just whenever you see them protesting, just turn off the channel, all right? But like I said, I don't want to get involved in that stuff anymore. I don't want to get involved with this anymore. And I'm not going to be out there showing you all the stranded riders. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I have my own issues to deal with. I have to move to a safe neighborhood. And under the Fair Housing Act, in my program, I have a right to live in a safe neighborhood, and I will fight for that right. Right now, I'm just looking, but if months and months go by and we still can't find anything, because either there's discrimination or the rent number is not the right rent number, then I have to maybe take further action. But I can't stay in this town. This town is, I hate doing this, but it really is Westbury now. This town is Westbury. It's not Westbury anymore. I've got to get out of this town. It's getting more and more dangerous. It's getting more and more deserted. It's like everybody is leaving. There's somebody else who watches my videos. I've met him a couple of times. He also lives in the Westbury area, and he's desperate to get out as well. This area is just in complete free fall. Everybody is leaving, and they can't leave fast enough. And this is what happened in Brooklyn in the 60s, and it's happening here. All those things, blockbusting, redlining, white flight, those things are still happening. They're happening on Long Island, and they're happening in Nassau County, which happens to be one of the most segregated places. The real estate people, they want to do this. They want to ruin Westbury for whatever reason they're gaining from it. I don't know, but they gain something by housing all these illegals here, and then the sex offenders and the ex-cons and all that stuff. They get something out of it. I don't know. And our mayor, I've met him a couple of times. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad person, but Mayor Cavallaro, you do live on the Carl Place side of town. He lives in the Carl Place School District side of town, which is very nice, kind of on the rich side, and there's no crime problems there. No illegal houses, no illegals, no ex-cons. It's all put on the Westbury School side, that's east of Ellison Avenue, and I don't think he understands how serious it is here. I hear they're getting new street lights, great, but I can't put my effort into these issues anymore, whether it be Westbury, whether it be the nice bus, whether it be the illegal immigration, whether it even be the Pine Barrens. I can't do it anymore. Not with all this personal stuff going on. If you're in my shoes, I think hopefully you'd understand. And I'm sorry, but I can't do it anymore. As far as when the cuts happen and all hell breaks loose, Nassau County, you made your mess, and maybe the county is just going to have to learn their lesson the hard way. MTA got fed up with this county. They got the hell out. And this company is showing signs that they're also, Transdev is also getting fed up with this county. There was a rumor going around, but I was at the meeting. That's not what Setzer meant. He said if they didn't approve the contract and approve the budget, that they would be out by November. They would just leave. But they did approve the budget, so I don't think they're going. But hey, they could still leave. I saw Mr. Setzer speak there. He seemed a little disgusted. Even Transdev, they came here thinking that there was going to eventually be more contribution from the county, and they're finding out that there isn't going to be any more contribution from the county. The county wants them to lay out the cost. This is the only county in the whole country that expects to have bus service and an extensive bus network and not pay for it. This legislature, all of them, they are just disgusting. I don't care if they're Republican, Democrat. They've had months and months and days to go against this, to fix this, and they don't care. Let them deal with the increased crime. The rich people are going to come crying that they can't get their nannies and housekeepers to work. The businesses aren't going to be able to get employees to work. Businesses will close. The businesses are going to complain. Your taxes are going to go up. Crime is going to go up. Let them deal with that. Let them deal with those problems. They created it. Sometimes people have to learn a lesson the hard way, and when it comes to such narrow-minded, just stubborn people sitting in our legislature, especially the people like Ed Mangano, people like Norma Gonzalez. I'm sorry, Norma, but I think you're being very stubborn. With this, you have sometimes they have to learn a lesson the hard way, and I guess they're asking the state for money, and I don't think the state's going to rescue NASA. They might rescue Suffolk, because Suffolk puts a lot of money into their buses, and they put like $30 million into their bus system. But Nassau, you spent $2.6 million. Give me a break. You should restore that $6.8 million. There's no excuse for you not to. Don't blame it on NIFA. Don't blame it on the state. You should do it at your next legislature meeting. But I'm not going to spend my time on this anymore, guys. I have my own issues. I live in a town that is in serious trouble that I have to get out of. If you live in a neighborhood that's in decline, you'll understand what I'm saying. But there's a lot of problems here. Despite the rosy picture that the mayor and the people in the village want you to think, this town is in some serious trouble. And, all I can say is I wish Westbury the best of luck in the future, but right now its future really does look like Westbury. It seems like this is just becoming a place for the misfits of society, and the regular people just don't want to live here. And I honestly can't blame them. At this point. But I have to find a safe place to live. I have a right to live in a safe neighborhood. Maybe some people don't think I have a right to live in a safe neighborhood with good access to things, but I think I do. I know I have that right. Under law, I have that right, and I'm not going to be discriminated against or kept out of any safe community on Long Island. If these people think they are, well, they're mistaken, because I will find a place. I will find a place one way or another. I'm not going to leave Long Island. That's what they want, and I'm not going to give them what they want. There's plenty of beautiful places to live on Long Island, and Westbury just isn't one of them. So I'm sorry, guys. I can't do this anymore. I hope you understand, but again, I can't do this anymore. But you will see. Maybe you'll see some Pine Barrens videos, some slideshows. We'll go back to that. I'd rather focus on something nice and beautiful like the Pine Barrens than all this ugly stuff, to be honest with you. So take it easy, and thanks for watching. Sorry I couldn't keep doing this, but I just can't with my illness and everything and all this other stuff. Take it easy.